Welcome to Booklandia, where we review romance novels.
This and every episode are chock full of oversharing and spoilers. Every episode is rated E for explicit.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Booklandia. I am your host, as declared in the previous episode, Ford. And with me, as professional button pusher, we have Scott.
Wow, that sounds like a mid-level management job. Professional button pusher.
Exactly. But you have not yet complimented me on that seamless, smooth, and non-bumpy intro.
You know what? That was pretty solid.
I think it's the best intro of the season so far.
It kind of sounded like an NPR situation.
I may have dropped into character.
I'll draw back out.
Okay. Well, do not drop out. Stay in school.
Oh my gosh, yes, that too. Great. So today we're talking about Lisa Kleypas. She is a pinnacle of historical romance, and this is our first foray into her canon. This one is called Secrets of a Summer's Night.
I'm just going to stop you there.
Is that not what it's called?
I'm pretty sure it's called Secrets of a Summer Night.
Oh.
It's a Midsummer's Night's Dreams situation.
Okay, yeah, I apostrophized where an apostrophe was not necessary.
Yeah, yes. I put that S wherever it feels natural every time I write the title of this book.
Excellent. Okay, great. So, very good.
It's a choose your own adventure.
It's a choose your own adventure of Secrets of a Summer Night.
Secrets.
Multiple. Summer Night, singular.
Yes.
Copy that.
One night.
Many secrets. Oh, I see what's happening there. I mean, we'll get to that in a second.
Did that actually happen in the book?
0 times.
Great. Excellent. We're just jumping right to the end for me. Why is this the title of the book?
I have no idea.
Right.
There are no secrets.
There is nothing that happens at night.
There is nothing that happens at night except for the explosion, but that's not secret. It's a giant explosion.
During the day.
Oh, it's just dark because of all the soot?
The soot and smoke, yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, 0 nights, 0 secrets, and yet...
Here we are.
But
all book cover. Shall we show the people?
Absolutely, yes. So here is the book cover.
It's a total traditional book cover. We've got a young female person in repose, blonde hair. Her dress takes up 140% of the book cover. And she's wearing a creamy, almost buttercup yellow. If buttercup yellow was a LaCroix flavor, that's the color of this dress. And then, Scott, I'm going to need you to tell me period or not period.
The 1980s, you mean?
Well, the dress for this Regency or period romance novel.
I mean, maybe there's not really a whole lot of it showing. Maybe they talk a lot about the dresses that they're wearing, and none of them are cream color.
And she's not wearing a corset.
No, this person is definitely not wearing a corset.
You can't lean like that in an awkward sideways manner wearing a corset.
No, more importantly, in the book, there are multiple instances of her being unable to breathe due to her underpinnings, and all of them have to do with leaning and breathing and all the things that she's currently performing on this cover.
Yeah. So thumbs down on this cover, but it's traditional. Like, I mean, it's
so this is the cover of every second book in the grocery store romance section.
Excellent. Yes.
It's this and A House at Sunset.
Ooh, excellent.
Yeah.
You're very right. I would say this cover is just a vehicle for Lisa Kleypas's name. It's the biggest thing on the cover.
It is. I was like, what is the title of this book? Because I just know that it's Lisa Kleypas.
Yes.
That's what I know.
It's center, biggest font. That's how you know what is most important. If any book cover designer is worth their salt.
Right.
Biggest font is most important.
Of course.
So I wrote this blurb.
Yes.
Do you want to give me the buttons?
Oh, but I thought I was the button pusher.
Well, now I have all the control.
Okay, so.
All right. Shall I count you in? Are you ready?
I'm 100% not ready.
And you have to remember to read and speak into the microphone at the same time.
That is going to be the most complex.
Do you need a minute to
Oh God, so sorry. Hold on. I was so good at like not. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna try. My eyeballs are like, it's late. Are you kidding?
Three Stooges-y. I just poked you in the eyes. For
Understood.
The listeners.
Copy that. All right. Yeah, go for it.
5, 6, 7, 8.
By the way, it starts with an I've already forgotten what this book is about from Ford.
Yes.
Wallflower Annabelle Peyton is about to go up on the shelf, but her family is starving and her brother needs tuition. Her mother has made an arrangement with an asshole, but that doesn't cover everything and their honor. So Annabelle makes a pact with 3 other wallflowers, 2 of which are très Americain, to find husbands, and she is up first, but she has to keep dodging Mr. Richie Rich, Simon Hunt, no title, who wants to keep her for a mistress.
You almost
Almost.
did it. Look, I've given up on filling it in within the time, but you've done better than I have.
True.
I returneth the buttons to you.
Well, I thinketh you. Oh, that is actually a thing.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right.
So, yes, all of that. So this is the beginning of a series.
Yes.
And a portion of the very beginning of this series is spent setting that up for us, I feel like.
Right.
We get introduced to Annabelle and the 2 American sisters and the most wallflowery of the wallflower girls, yes.
Yeah.
And are explained sort of like each one of their terrible situations as per dumb rules of the peerage.
Yeah, and also we're given sort of like tropey quirks of their personality.
Yeah, and like how dare she be 24?
Oh, God.
She's been out for so many seasons. The 4th one. Like this was a little difficult for me altogether. And not Lisa Kleypas specifically, but there's a reason I've stayed away from historicals, and it's because I can't drop into this world because I just keep screaming about women's liberation at the book and the extreme dumbness of the patriarchy.
Yes.
And I think Sarah MacLean has led me to believe that it is possible to write a period piece with modern sensibilities well.
That is feminist, yes.
That is feminist, or at least woman forward,
Right.
even in the moments when it's not truly feminist because it really wouldn't fit the time period. And so now that is the bar for me.
Right.
Like a female forward, feminist leading, historical romance is what I want to read. Which, by the way, just led me to the question of why haven't we read certain romance authors who write exactly that?
Like who?
Olivia
Dade.
No.
She writes
But Olivia Dade does write contemporary.
contemporary.
Yes. No. I mean, you
Waithe. Olivia
Waithe. And
yeah.
I mean, you read the Alexis Hall.
Yes, A Lady for a Duke.
Yes.
So
And
good.
I have not. So
good.
perhaps that's the issue. So,
I just recommended that to a student.
oh yay.
Yeah, anyway.
That's really great.
Yeah.
So, back to Lisa Kleypas. Sorry
Do we
about
have
that.
to keep talking
Oh.
about her? No, I'm just kidding. What I had no thought, please keep talking.
Brilliant. So my point here is that the overall concept of this series didn't excite me.
Yeah.
Because it immediately fell short of my expectation. But Kleypas is a pillar. Like, if you're going to read historical, you're going to come across Lisa Kleypas' stuff.
Like
And-
shelves of her
Shelves and shelves, yes.
of her books in the store.
And it was easy reading.
Yes.
Like,
I 2 or 3 days.
yeah, very easy reading. And that is sort of the point of the escapist book reading, is easy reading.
It was so easy, I just turned it on and do other things.
Me too.
I had no need to focus on it.
That is exactly how I consume this book as well, is as background to also doing other things. I was going to bring this up earlier in the process, and it was going to be the question of, so both of us audiobooked this book rather than flip the pages.
Yeah.
And so my question for you was going to be, no, it's not about who the audiobook reader is. If you find that person, then let's give them a shout out. No, my question is how do you feel about the people who have an opinion that audiobooks that you cannot call it reading a book if you've listened to the audiobook.
Wow. Wow.
What ableism.
Wow. Firstly, it's Rosalind Landor, and I was looking her up because I recognized her voice immediately, and I had looked up her
discography.
Exactly, and I'm gonna have to try and find it when you're talking eloquently about something else later. When you asked your question, the first thing that flitted through my head is, if listening to someone read a book isn't considered reading, what were we doing in middle school? Because all I did was listen to a different person read a different paragraph from the same book.
Right.
So I guess that's not learning.
Right. Well, drag queens reading to children, not reading.
Well, that's indoctrination.
In case you can't see our faces,
Jokes.
We're joking.
Deep jokes. Absolutely joking.
Please continue to show up in drag and read to children. Mine in particular. Please and thank you.
Yes. Me. So, what do I think about people who say that audiobook? I used to be, even just a year ago, a more physical book reader than an audiobook reader. And then, due to, time constraints and just, being mentally tired at the end of the day, I wasn't feeling up to putting my eyes through more after staring at a screen for so long, or whatever. And so, that landed me in listening to some audiobooks, because there were some things we were really excited about. And you and some of our other book club members are staunch, almost majority audiobook readers.
Due to time constraints. There are several books, and we've talked about it, that sort of require eyes on the page. But I was missing so much of my reading time because I was driving constantly. And this fixed it.
Yeah. So I agree, and it's taken me a while to kind of, and I still find myself in these moods where I had feng shuied my brain, so to speak, that driving was sort of like my daydreamy Pisces time,
liminal space.
Yes, my liminal space, and I could just kind of go into whatever book world I was reading or whatever. Think about what's happening at my funeral per the other episode, the previous episode. If you want to hear about funerals, skip back.
Go to my funeral.
Please come to my funeral. You're all invited. And so I had to train my brain to think actively while I was in the car. So I still find myself not wanting to listen to an audiobook or so I just have to be in the mood.
Yeah,
in the car. But I also just like putting them on and doing a puzzle. Just sans puzzle right now. So it's a hard sort of pairing to need to do something and listen to an audiobook. I just can't sit and listen. I do have Rosalind Landor's discography.
That's what I said. I don't know if that's true.
Catalog.
There you go. That's better.
So she reads all of the Bridgerton books.
Oh, okay.
She's read some Susanna Kearsley,
Mm-hmm.
whom we've read. So all of Julia Quinn's books, actually. She did Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro.
Mm-hmm.
That book was... I'm just reading you all the ones
that you've recognized on the list. Yes.
She also reads all of Sophie Kinsella's books.
Uh-huh.
And will I get to the one where I was like, this is where I know her from? I'm on page 2.
Wow, well done, person.
Audible has them all listed, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're interested in looking for yourself. But she is renowned. She is, I suspect, the short list.
For historicals?
Yeah.
She did great. I thought there weren't any words that she said that I went, that's not how you say that.
Her American accent.
Her American accent could have used an American. She might be American and doing a bad American accent. I'm not sure about this.
I can't believe that.
But that's fine. I mean, there are times when someone says something and I'm like, that is not how you pronounce that word. Mm-hmm. And actually, there was an audiobook we listened to where I had many, many notes about all sorts of things. This one was not one of them.
I found it. She did A Rogue by Any Other Name by Sarah McLean.
Ah.
So she's done some Sarah McLean. book.
I see.
I'm only on page 4 of 20, and that's where we'll put
well
this down.
done,
Yeah.
person.
She has to be like
Amazing.
Julie Quinn has a book. I'm doing Julie Quinn's
Yeah.
book. Sophie Kinsella, like she's obviously the number one ask for a lot of folks.
This is slightly off topic to the current book we're reading, but it is 100% on topic for audiobook narrators. So I don't remember what. Oh, I think it was Kleypas' series, the Bergman Brothers, that I listened to all 8 of them. And it is the same audiobook narrator for all of them.
Yeah.
And she's very, very good, except for a minor detail. She was also the audiobook narrator of the Sarah J. Maas series, which is extremely stressful, with lots and lots of stress.
Oh no!
And so I would listen to this lovely book about these lovely humans trying to like drop into their delightful world, and I would get heart palpitations all of a sudden because her voice, like she would say a word a particular way, and it would just take me back into Sarah J. Maas's world, and I would be like, oh no! I'm like, wait, back to this loveliness.
Yeah.
And like once in a while, there would be just something that she would just say, and it was like, Aelin?
Like that. I could see that being a problem. That made me think about how when I listened to most of Sarah McLean's backlog, Rosalind Landor was the audiobook narrator I liked, and then once we went to a new series, there was a new one, and she had like a very wispy voice, and I was like, I need to throw her out the window and rehire Rosalind Landor. So the audiobook narrator can really make or break a book. There's definitely books, I think almost everyone in our book club has put down because the audiobook narrator has blown it.
Or, choices were made and I disagreed.
Yes.
Yes, and then I couldn't get past them. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, it didn't, the narrations that stressed me out did not make me stop reading Chloe. So, that didn't change.
It just didn't, like, it doesn't flood your basement.
No, not as frequently. When you're constantly like, and there are like some
Who's
sort
gonna
of
stab me?
Yes. What kind of torture is also in this book? And none. The answer is none. There's no torture in Chloe Lee's books.
Great.
Just so you know.
Great. Good to know.
Good to know. In case that's the thing.
Reverse spoiler alert. Uncontent warning.
Uncontent warning.
Okay, so this book did not. Secrets of a Summer's Nights is like this. It did not stand out for me. Like I've already forgotten most of it. Like there was no shimmer or shine to it. There's a couple of memorable moments, and I guess like why didn't this book stand out? Where did it fall? You've talked about the anti-feminist, anti-woman. It's like too much of the period, but like that can't be the only reason. Read some romances that do that, and they're just better.
I guess my counter to you would be can you tell me anything significant about our leading lady, other than she is 24?
She makes poor shoe choices.
Yes.
She's not the one that likes soup. That's a different book.
Like there is nothing that identifies her.
She has brown eyes. I think she had brown eyes.
Even that is a surprise to me. But like,
did he have brown eyes?
He had brown eyes with a fleck in one eye. No, wait, that's the book I'm currently reading.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Like there's, she doesn't read excessively. She doesn't have, like a quick wit or interesting rapport. She is not bespectacled, which is a huge no-no /
Bespectacled? I mean, does she wear glasses or have freckles? I'm very confused.
I was gonna say, I guess it's England, so both would be
a big no-no.
a faux pas for some idiots.
Right. Because Evie has freckles.
So she is neither bespectacled or bespectacled.
Wow.
That's hilarious. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, no, I love it.
But like, I can't tell you, like, her brother's tuition hangs in the balance for 3/4 of a second.
She mentions it at least twice, so
And
that's
then
how important
And
it
then
is.
it's like, hey, he showed up and he's totally fine and he's 14. And I went, oh, he's 14. Like, I thought he was like 9.
Also, let's send him to the
The continent. Yeah.
as a chauffeur, as a chaperone. Oh my god, you look what you've done. You've poisoned my brain with alternate words. Oh, here we go.
This is the beauty
Shove
of,
it.
of symbiosis. It works better when we're in the same room.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, she was unremarkable.
Yeah.
And so I didn't root for her.
Right.
And-
Oh, she was short because he was so tall and broad-shouldered. Like she was like 5 foot tall.
Okay,
She
sure.
was
That's not a personality trait.
I mean, okay, great. You're
I
an
mean, it
expert
it-
as being a shorter
An
person.
export?
An export.
I mean, it could be a personality trait. She could be
Sure.
short but spunky,
Right.
or short
No, she was
and
just
hot messy,
bland.
or whatever. She was, yeah,
Kind of bossy.
but only at him.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of judgmental. Like, so if she was meant to be the Elizabeth to his Darcy, she lacked the spunk,
Right.
and like,
Or the DGAF of Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. So I think that is why this didn't really work for me. Is because I wasn't rooting for her because I couldn't pick her out of a crowd.
Yeah.
My question is sort of similar, and it is a why, particularly in these historicals, there are so many manly men a la Mr. Darcy, like brooding, terribly sexually experienced, with big hands, who can carry you up the stairs. See, like, what is it? I don't understand. Like, I don't need a brick wall.
Sure.
I need a human.
Sure.
And all of these things, she was so broad she couldn't see past him. I'm like, that is expensive probably when you're making custom suits.
Right. Well, he was rich.
He was rich.
Um,
And then, like, at some point, she's like, give me your pocket knife, I'm gonna cut off your leg. And I was like, no, you're not. He's
Yeah.
a brick wall. You've said that like 12 times.
also, have you what?
Exactly.
Never
Like,
seen
a pocket knife in action.
or
Clearly not.
a bone in a leg?
I mean, obviously not.
The femur is like the thickest bone in the body. Okay.
Yeah. All
Anyhow.
of that. I mean, like, all of that. I
Yeah.
literally was like, I understand that this is a request made in the heat of a stressful moment, but no.
Yeah.
No, that's not how this is gonna come to be.
Right.
So I fully respect that Brick House of a Man might not be my
He's a brick house. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, like, I get that he's supposed to be like dark and grouchy and moody, and she breaks the shell of the dark and grouchy.
Yeah.
And that's like the Darcy aspect of it, but like, I don't know, didn't resonate with me.
Yeah. It's I agree. Like he was. I mean, obviously the most interesting thing to me because that's like muscles are one of my weaknesses.
Sexy forearms. You love a sexy forearm.
Right now, it's thighs. I don't care who they're on,
Oh.
and I've been watching a lot of female soccer, so it's muscular thighs right now.
I mean, I don't disagree.
So
A well-formed thigh muscle is
in action,
a beautiful thing to behold.
put it in a cleat. All right, I'll wrap it up. Put it in a cleat. Wrap it up. All right, that's weird. Let's make it weirder. I would have been more interested in the story if it had been about Annabelle becoming a lesbian with these American girls.
Who wear pants.
Well, they barely wear clothes at all.
Right.
Running around teaching people rounders in their underwear. If that scene where they're learning how to play rounders in a field, if that had just dissolved into a pile of giggling girls in their underwear who eventually kiss, just to see what it's like that would have been a more interesting book
I think
to
that's a
me.
different author, different book series.
I don't know what I'm doing here then. I'm going to go.
Right. I gotta go read that other
So
one.
like that is a more interesting story to me than the basicness of this book.
Yeah. Well, I think this one we didn't put a publish year on this, but I think this was
yeah.
originally published. I want to say in '91. So there's quite a few years between.
What if you're right? Do we want to put? Let's place a bet. So Finn and I place bets. We have a game where we'll hear a song and we'll be like, "What year did that come out?" And we bet on it. So you're saying 91. Ooh, I'm gonna go late 90s. I'm gonna say 96.
Okay. All right. Well, there's no indication of what year it is based on the writing in the book, obviously,
That's
because
true.
it's historical.
Historical Secrets of a Summer's Nights is, well, the Audible release date is 2001.
Yes.
Okay. Just be faster.
This is a yelling at an internet situation.
Yeah. Just do it faster, everybody. Nope. 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 Nope.
Well, while you're scrolling, I'm
Please,
gonna
talk
ask
to
the
the people.
next. I'm gonna ask you the next question. Can
Okay,
you
great.
multitask?
Absolutely.
Uh,
I've listened and ignored my whole life.
So, there's a scene where they talk after their firstly, this is the only thing that I really liked about the book. The plot takes an unexpected twist for me.
Okay.
In that
Yes.
it does not end at the wedding. The story doesn't end at the wedding. The story continues after the wedding. And I was very confused at first because that seemed like the happily ever after. And so I was like, why aren't we done? Like, what else? Because the wedding is like at the 80th percentile. You have another 20% of the book. It's not like there's a little epilogue and you call it good. No, there is way more of the story after that. And that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I liked, typically in romance novels, you expect something to happen around the 50% mark. And I think the wedding was in the 60s.
Yeah, maybe.
And so then they could get to that stupidly closed-doored Vaseline on the lens sex scene, which I'm sure you would like to tell the people about, because you went on about it.
I was really
actor
mad.
Yes, absolutely.
I was really mad. I'm going to save it for after the break,
Okay.
but nice teaser. So there's a scene after the wedding where he discovers that she is wearing a new type of corset.
Mm-hmm.
And they have an entire conversation about this new type of corset that everyone is wearing, that uses whalebone, that uses steel instead of whalebone, that is steamed instead of starched. And then nothing comes of that conversation. It's like a weird red herring that I was like, then why did we just spend time on talking about this corset?
Well, you see, this is a parallel because he builds railroads, and now she's railroad tracks.
Wow. So what we're saying is that he prefers railroads?
I'm just saying that now she's closer to a steam engine.
Because she's embracing this new technology that
Yes.
he's pioneering?
Yes, and it's made
Oh.
of metal, and he likes things made of metal.
I didn't make that connection, not even a little
I
bit.
just made it up.
I literally was like, is she gonna saw off his leg with the bones of the corset? I was waiting for it. Was
She
like,
pulls him out and stabs him, and then just like cranks. Okay.
no
just-
clue.
yes.
But I was like, we spent quite a bit of time on this corset, and then it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Other than like, why are you wearing this new corset? Please explain it to me.
And like after they got married, it was like, and then we had sex all night, and like that's all. Like they had a lot of sex, and we were just told that they had a lot of sex.
There was like, do you know what's gonna happen? And she's like, I've been shown some diagrams, and he's like, great. Do you know about foreplay? And she's like, for what?
Yeah.
And that's the cutaway.
Yeah.
That's the
Yes.
cutaway. Is like, and then she's like, he knows what he's doing, and it's like, great, but we don't. Like, this is one of the instances where show us, don't tell us would have been really useful.
I absolutely agree. Okay, so for those of you who have been sitting on the edge of your seats, yelling your own guesses to when this book was published, according to Goodreads, this book was first published in 2004.
Oh, wow.
This book is only 20 years old, not 35 years old.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, still, 20 is still a solid amount of time for a book to be on the shelf.
That's true,
But,
but also,
like,
what wave of a feminism were we in at that
Exactly.
point, right?
Yeah, this is Britney Spears right before the shaved head situation. I'm sorry, I did not mean for this to turn into a spit take.
It's okay. Please and always categorize books by what pop culture moment was about to happen.
Yeah, well, because you can place yourself in that pop culture moment and be like, oh, this is what was happening in addition.
Can you?
I mean, yes, I can.
Great.
Like, it's...
I know it happened. I couldn't tell you what year that
Ah,
happened.
very good. It helps me center me in the flared pants, extremely low-waisted.
Oh, yes.
Really pointy shoes for reasons unknowable. Kitten heels.
Oh,
Terrible decision
yes.
at all times.
Yes, because those look really great in a bell bottom.
Exactly. And a bandana top.
Were we still doing butterfly clips?
That's no, you like it transitioned into like a frosted.
Oh, yes, the super slick.
Yes, everybody was ironing their hair because Jessica Simpson had flat blonde hair, and so did Christina Aguilera, and so did the rest of them. The more you remember about the 2000s,
And this has been your culture moment with Sky. Do you remember when with Sky? Oh my god. So I love, like you mentioned, the structure of this book was really interesting, and it was kind of the most interesting thing about this book.
I think so.
The other thing that stood out from this book is that there was a scene in it that I have never read in a romance novel before, and it's when she gets bitten by a snake. And he has
You've
to-
never read this scene in a romance novel?
Well, call me moderately read, but like no.
This is a trope.
Name one other book where she gets bitten by a snake. I'll wait here. Hold on.
Well, now that I'm on the spot and there's a ticking noise, very little is gonna happen. No, but that's like a thing. It's a
If I press
trope.
the button again, does this
No,
sound like
unfortunately,
it
you've
would wait it
committed to the whole thing.
out? Right.
Oh, no, there's definitely more than one. And yeah, it's always like he's touching her ankle and how scandalous, but let's like do some ankle sexy time. This is a thing.
I'll believe it when you come up with one actual example.
Well, now I'm gonna.
Okay, you get your phone out. This
Yes.
is the episode of phones.
Yes, very good.
So here's my problem
Yes.
with this snake bite thing. Like, yes, he gets to see her ankle. He basically undresses her, and her friend is there watching, so it's scandalous, but not that scandalous. He does not, and look, I know nothing about snakes. He seemed to know a lot about this kind of snake,
Yes.
and I have to assume she did research, and that this isn't the kind of snake where you suck out the venom, but opportunities were missed.
I agree.
Because I think I'm an average reader, as I just previously mentioned, moderately read. He could have sucked out that venom, and I've been like, yeah, absolutely, that's what you have to do with any and every snake bite is suck out the venom. So
Or lancet, because that is also suggested.
yeah, or apply the anti-venom if we're in a contemporary romance. But severely missed opportunity to have lips on skin in scandalous places, and early on in the book too.
Yes.
So-
it's sort of like the thing that charges him.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna lose her. I gotta protect her at all costs and buy her boots." Like, she got a pair of boots out of it, and she got embroidered, but like, she got the kind of boots that I would never wear outside. They're so nice.
Yes.
Like, embroidered, finely made. Also, he found that in the town cobbler made like the most amazing boots ever. Like, no, I guess I'm throwing shade at town cobblers.
I was gonna say, no, the boots sounded very period appropriate.
Okay.
Fully agree that they might not be.
Tromping through mud, and she says it's like, I can't go into muddy pastures in these boots, and then she does. Immediately in
That
the
felt
first
like
sentence.
a possible Easter egg to Elizabeth, to Pride and Prejudice, and the muddy, the going through the muddy.
Look at you, Smarty McPants. That's a very nice illusion.
Yeah. I don't know if it was intentional.
I mean,
But
if we can't draw a parallel from every romance novel to a Jane Austen novel
to an OG,
Yeah.
then yes, what are we even doing?
what are we even doing? We can both leave. So I'm just verklempt. Verklempt is not the right word. I'm just confused about why this book. Like, what story is it telling that hasn't already been told? And as prolific a writer as Lisa Kleypas is, literally a story she's probably already written. Now again, this is her first book. She's a great writer. It just didn't mean anything to me. It
Yes.
didn't matter to me in literally any way. So, yeah. The other part of this book. Oh, finger up in the air.
So the original Snakebite is Orpheus and Eurydice.
I mean, classic.
Yes.
We're talking. Are we calling that a romance?
Orpheus and Eurydice? I mean, yes, a tragic romance,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I believe they are categorized as a romance, yes.
All right.
And there's been quite a few
And?
iterations.
Okay.
Taming of the Trouser Snake. No joke, is a book.
Oh my god. And have you read that one?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Um,
I'm waiting for the one that you gave
A
it.
Promise of Ankles.
And have you read that one?
No.
Okay. So I feel like let's just table this for the next episode's apology parade, where you admit that you lied to me and all of these lovely people about reading a snake bite scene in another book.
I have 100% read a snakebite scene in something. But anywho, I will do some more research.
Or just stop thinking about it and it'll come to
And
you.
they'll
Just
immediately
yell.
show up. I did find this lovely search engine that allows you to look for a romance book without knowing all of the details.
Oh.
It's called Library Thing, librarything.com.
Ooh.
And you can put in some
random ass shit.
like wild words, and it finds the descriptions for that. So I do need to do more research, not on my phone in the middle of an episode, but possibly I will come back.
C'est possible. Excellent.
Is this an excellent
I think
break
it is.
breakage point?
I think let's stab this episode in the leg with the pocket knife and break it here.
Do come back. We will be talking some more.
We're going to take an intermission. When we come back, we will discuss our favorite moments from the book and if this book made us want to get naked.
And we're back.
Hello.
Hello.
Did I?
No, you're fine. I was
Okay.
just double checking that we were in fact back, and
Oh.
and audio was in fact audioing.
Mm-hmm.
We're back and we're talking about Lisa Kleypas's
Where are you gonna put the yes?
Secrets of a Summer Dream.
Do you think that's the right title?
Yes,
Or-
I do think that's the right title.
That is not the correct title.
No. Secrets of a Summer. Fudge.
Yeah.
And
Just
also-
Midsummer's Night's Dreams is it?
I did.
Look
Oh.
what I've done.
Yikes. All right, very good. Well, hello and welcome to the book with the title I
Yes.
cannot get.
The first in the Wallflowers series.
The
which
first.
is a 5-series book. 5-book series. That's the order of words. So we've sort of talked about the fact that we didn't really jive with this book, but Yeah.
favorite moments, if any?
I think, as I previously mentioned, the Rounders game in the underwear. So I have a confession. I did some research and I looked up what Rounders was. It's baseball.
It's the precursor to baseball.
It's a precursor to
Yeah.
baseball, though they still play it in England.
Oh, okay.
They call it Rounders.
And they still call it Rounders.
Yeah. So I hope you can forgive me for actually doing research.
Oh, my. Okay, very
for
good.
This podcast.
Yeah. All right. Very good. I thought you would have looked up knickers.
No, I've known what knickers
Okay, great.
for a while.
Oh.
Mostly because growing up staunchly religious, any word to not say the naughty word, like panties or thong, sometimes you hear knickers. Panties is okay, but like lingerie, can't say lingerie, so knickers is an option.
The levels of Vaseline that people go to.
Praise somebody. So I think that was absolutely my favorite part. The girls all stripped down into their knickers. But I think they still wore their corsets, which
they were in corsets and
they had their
chemises,
corset over,
and their knickers.
And shoes.
Yeah, if they were gents if they were boys in the time period, they would have been wearing knickerbockers, which looks like knickers.
Okay.
Outer, it's a pant. It's like a pantaloon situation. Think Newsies. Like all of the boys in Newsies.
Yes.
Those are called knickerbockers.
Yes. Sorry, my face was because I thought we were talking about what boys would wear underclothes wise.
Oh no,
clothes wise.
Yeah, boys would wear nothing. Just a shirt.
Free balling.
In wool.
Well, the shirts were long, right? They tucked them in all the way down.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
But they did not have stretch cotton.
No.
Or lycra. So.
No support.
So much chafing. Do you think? I'm just gonna pose the inner thought on the outer world. There's such a thing as like penis blistering. Like,
yes.
Penis chafing.
Absolutely yes.
No wonder.
Right.
No wonder men are mad at everything.
Right, they're constantly trying to not scratch at places that are itchy.
They have generational penis trauma.
Yes, that is clearly why they're all
why they must make war.
So obsessed with things, because yes, they are constantly wondering why it's on fire.
Yeah, right. What was your favorite moment of the book?
Oh, now it's gonna pale in comparison. So actually, it's also wardrobe related, and it has to do. So after she gets bitten by the snake, she goes to the ball. She gets violently ill at the ball. I think this is one of the first mentions of throwing up in a historical that I have read. Which
and they didn't call it casting your accounts.
Which
I absolutely hate that.
It really was like, here's my throw up.
Yeah.
And that really humanized her. But so he then carries her to the bed, and one of the things that he does is he undoes her corset.
Yeah.
And that whole scene with like the other girl being like, you can't do it because you're a man, and he's like, I must do it because I'm trying to save her, and
she's suffocating.
And by the way, she was hyperventilating. She wasn't suffocating, but neither here nor there.
Was she not?
She didn't have anaphylaxis. No.
Okay. All right.
That was the word from the previous episode.
We got there.
But no, she started panicking. And then she was like, I can't take a full breath. Right. And that's when he was like, I must undo these stays. That whole interaction felt very ridiculous and in the time period appropriate. And so there was some like, it wasn't humorous, but it was interesting to read.
Right. He's like, I'm going to cut it off if you don't get it off of her.
Right. And you know what? I just figured out.
Pocket knife.
With that pocket knife of his. I just figured out one of the other reasons why this really didn't resonate. Because one of the things that I've come to expect is that it's from both points of view. That you know the way she feels about things, but you also know the way he feels about things. And in this instance, there were scenes where it's all from her point of view. There are no scenes that are him only.
I think there's like one or two lines of head jumping, but like,
Well, and there's a moment after the Rounders game where it's him and his friend, and the two of them have a conversation, but we aren't in his head. We're like omnisciently floating above the conversation. And I think that's what was missing. Like, I think I would have been really excited to read like the fact that he was overcome with the sight of her in her undergarments, or his hand touched her bare chemise and or whatever. Right, like something about the feelings he had for her would have been nice.
Well, so I am, if you've listened to literally any other episode, I'm a sucker for like already in love or friends to lovers. Like, I like something where there's already feelings there, and that's something that excited me about this book, is that he had already wanted her from the jump, and she was denying that, and like, yeah, we didn't get that sort of point of view. We didn't get that, like,
he just wasn't
hang
emotionally
dogged.
available to us.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of goes back to the conversation about modern romance written now.
Yeah.
That like the men are, at least in the things we read, more emotionally present, or at least more articulate with their emotional needs. At least to us as the omniscient reader, maybe not always to the other person.
Yeah. So what was your hot take on this? Secrets is the
Yeah, so my hot take is I kept wondering if I'm not meant to read backlogs, like forward momentum only.
Yeah.
Because I just get so frustrated by the constraints of the before.
Yeah.
And I don't find the escape that this particular type of romance is meant to elicit.
Oh, so sorry to, I wanted to steer us back to the conversation about the corset that I just remembered I had a question. In this period, so I know that corsets used to always lace only, or did they always sort of have a latching, like a hook feature? But can you just do a quick evolution of corsets?
Wow, no, because it is really complex. So,
quick.
Okay, so this has everything to do with class,
Yes,
and it has everything to do with people in service.
Yeah.
So when there were people in service who were dressing you, there was no need for a front closure,
right? Because
someone was always going to dress you,
right?
So that puts all the corsets to be only laced in the back by a maid, up until the Industrial Revolution, and this book is right on the cusp of the Industrial Revolution, because that's when metal bones become available, and when more women go into the workforce or are not nobility anymore, and so they dress themselves, and therefore a front closure appears.
Yes. So in those corsets, the sort of, I don't know, hyphen corsets, the slash corsets, they have like hook and eye down the front, and then they still lace in the back.
Correct.
They're still, it's both
for
a while. Cool. Thank you. That was my question.
There you go.
Great. My hot take on this book,
please,
now that we've come back from Corset 101, I did not like this book, but like it took me a couple of days to read, so like no skin off my back. The funny thing I find about having read this book is that it came recommended to us, but we have since found out that that was not the book that was recommended to us.
This is very interesting.
Can we get down? Can we investigate how we read this book?
So so we were someone else that we know has read a lot more Lisa Kleypas, and so we're like, we want to get into that catalog. Where do we begin? And so this, and I feel like this is a semantics issue. We asked, where do we begin? And we were given the beginning.
You think this is not her first book?
No, this isn't her first book, but this is the beginning of the series that eventually gets to the book that was actually recommended to us.
Which is the first book in the next series that is
in the same world. So these characters make minor appearances in the next series and the one after that, apparently. And it goes all the way to the children of these characters. So 20 plus years pass from where we've begun. So I think this is a semantics question. We asked, where do we begin? And we were given an answer.
Right.
And we should have asked, what is, like, if you could read only one,
Right.
which one would you read?
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
So I think this is partially on us.
Thank you for clearing that up. Because I was reading this and I was like, what the fuck? Amazing.
Oh, we just at the same time. Oh, that's so terrible.
Finn will cut it out, or he won't now that we've made a meal out of it.
Yes. Thank you everyone for listening to us chew on that particular grisly thing.
Okay, so did this book make you want to get naked?
No. This okay, there is one thing that they mentioned, and this is it didn't make me want to get naked in like this was so inspiring that I'd like to put the book down and do some things about.
Some naughty thoughts. Fulfill some naughty thoughts.
Yeah, none.
Right.
But there is a line about champagne.
Okay.
She's offered champagne when they're back from their honeymoon, and she refuses it because of that one time that he did something with champagne.
Oh, yeah.
And I immediately went, I need a diagram, and also do have a yeast infection.
But also, I want to read that scene.
Right. I was like, did he put it in her belly button and drink it from her? That is my assumption. No?
I mean...
My assumption was that that's what it was.
I don't know that I went into specific detail, but now that we're here...
diagrams. Diagrams were had.
Amazing. As a costume designer, I bet the renderings were fantastic. There could have been like a lick it off the breast.
Sure.
Like
sure.
a champagne.
Oh, so sticky.
Fountain?
Champagne fountain
Sluicing?
of nakedness.
A booby sluice.
Oh, it's so sticky. And the bed.
Yeah.
The cleanup. Oh, the
I
maids.
mean, in Paris, they're used to it, right?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, because stickiness, that's not a good lubricant.
No. Also, for those of you who do not know, champagne has sugar in it, and the way that all wine is made is a little bit of yeast is introduced into the situation.
Sure.
So do not put it places you wouldn't want yeast to go.
Bread. We want it in bread?
Kitty.
This is a podcast where we say that we say explicit words. You can say the explicit words.
I know. I got to it and I was like, we haven't been quite that crude this whole episode. I've been trying to be like, oh gosh, and
how
dang it.
historical.
Yes, how historical. So to
my
get to the
goodness.
very end and to be like, don't put champagne up your pussy seemed like a whole thing.
And here we are.
I mean, obviously. See? No, you need a diagram. You know what? I did think of another compelling
It's also
moment.
stinky. Yeah.
And it's when they have sex in the linen closet, and like we don't really get the sex, but afterwards he says, "Damn it! Now every time I smell starch, I'm gonna get hard," and that was hilarious.
Yes. Like they have a lovely relationship, and at least there's that.
Yes, but sorry, you were saying something about sticky.
Oh yeah. I was imagining my diagram is he dips his erect penis into the champagne flute,
and then. That's it? End of sentence?
Reader's choice. Choose your own adventure.
Again.
But, a champagne flute is about... No, at that period, they were probably...
coupe glasses.
Coupe glasses.
But also, I'm not sure you're supposed to put yeast on...
a pee-pee?
Just, you know what? Especially considering the fact that there were no showers.
Absolutely. And
washing
men
was...
can get yeast infections, too.
Exactly. So basically, the moral of the story is please don't get a yeast infection.
Yes.
While playing with champagne.
Yes.
But do you, but then also shower thoroughly.
Yeah. I'm really rethinking all of those rappers' music videos where someone's in a bathtub of champagne.
Yes, terrible planning. I
choices.
hope they were wearing many layers of protection.
Yes. Plastic ones.
Clearly.
Yeah. Wear your Merkins.
Oh, and that feels, wear your Merkins feels like that is where we should end.
Very period appropriate.
Very period appropriate. So, yeah. I mean, that I think is that on,
Secrets of a Summer's Nights.
Yes.
Thank goodness neither of us have a lisp anymore. One of us may have had a lisp at one time.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Corrective education.
Perfect.
Thank you for joining us for an episode of Booklandia.
For more Booklandia, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at l.skyford, Twitter at SkyfordL, and hit up our blog, lskyford.com.
We love you to the moon and back, so don't forget to rate and subscribe.
Our eternal thanks for the audio editing and support provided by Finnegan Murphy, who you can find on Twitter at Finnegan1, that's FIONNEGAN, numeral 1, and sometimes Sky herself.